touch of perfection.
Now, in comparison with other countries, where is Moldova so far?
Moldova is in a very interesting position right now because it is in the process of transforming from the former Soviet Union to a more open society, especially, let's say, integration with the EU and collaboration with some other military blocs like NATO, and trying to open up to the West. I think there's a slow process of Europeanization now going on in Moldova. I think that is very interesting to see how things are going to turn out.
So you can see that it's happening. It's not just words.
It is happening, but I have some misgivings about this too. I was interviewed this before also in Moldova, and someone asked me the same question. I think that it's very important for Moldova not to commit the opposite mistake. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Now, before that, I think Moldova was under the former Soviet Union. It was under the Russian domination mostly. So they more or less espoused the Eastern Bloc, even though it may not be to their own interest, but because of the Russian domination. But now they have the choice. Now they are moving away from it. But I think that the mistake, the temptation over here is to go all the way to the other side, the opposite direction. But I think that going to the opposite direction, to the extreme, is also a mistake, just as much as it's a mistake to go to the other side before, all the way to the other side. So you will end up being dominated by the West.
So what is Moldova supposed to do? Because it is a small country, so
Yes,
in a way it has to search for help from
Exactly.
bigger powers.
Moldova is a small country. That means that it's very easy for you to be dominated by the major powers. So what should you do to survive? If I were a small guy and I'm surrounded by the big guys and they can punch me anytime they want, what should I do to survive? Well, I need to manipulate them such that I cannot be dominated by any one of them. But I try to be nice to all of them.
Be friends with everybody.
But yes, so that you can maximize the benefits from all. So my advice, if I were asked to give an advice, I could say that Moldova should adopt a neutral policy such that it can be friendly to Russia. Do not ignore that. I mean, Georgia make the mistake, as you know. They pay high price for that. So I think Moldova should not copy Georgia. That is a serious mistake that Georgia made.
Moldova should learn.
Should learn from that mistake, and also at the same time be friendly to the West, to the US too, to the EU and all that. But do not allow yourself to be so much integrated to them such that now you lose your national sovereignty. But you can learn from the West anything you like, but also understand your own history, your own culture. That's important, to know who you are. For example, I always give the example like this to my students in class. I say, look, I'm a man, but I learn from women too. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to behave like a woman. Understand me? I learn from everyone. I learn from all races, from all countries. But it doesn't mean that I shall therefore be one of them, but I'm not. You have to know who you are as a person. The same about Moldova. I think you can learn from either side, maximize the benefits from either side, but don't commit the mistake to throw yourself into either side, but then you will be part of that, you lose your other national sovereignty, and you'll be dominated.
But I think in a way it's very difficult because throughout our country's history, we've been dominated by so many different powers, and it's either on the Romanian side or Turkish or Russian, so it's been our country doesn't know otherwise, so it's very hard to get to that.
Here is my advice. If you have a history trying to be neutral and have not been very successful, doesn't mean that you should give up. Doing something which is very valuable in life is very difficult. Doing something which is not valuable in life is very easy. It's very cheap. Something which is much more expensive, much more worthy, it takes a long time to achieve.